Well, hello everyone, Dan Hurd with Dan Hurd Prospecting here. Welcome back to my channel. And if you're new, welcome. I hope to earn your subscription today. I am checking things out. I'm here at the Fraser River at my Pickerton claim here to see what it looks like in high water. And what I found, woohoo! Hope you enjoy. So what I found at high water was much higher water than I would have expected. I was hoping to actually be able to walk out onto sort of the upper area of the claim and maybe even do some test pans way up high. But this is probably 10 to 20 feet higher than I would have expected this water to be. And looking at some of the debris, like this log here and the mud up in there, it was even about 5 or 6 feet higher at one point. It was way up here. So this isn't even its highest point. It was higher. There's not much out there that I'm gonna be able to do any kind of test pans on, that's for sure. Everything is underwater. I can't even get around to the higher banks over there up on the flats because there's even water going way back this creek. The creek that comes in at Pickerton is going way back out there. So I can't even get in there. On my way out here, I stopped by the Thompson River and kind of the same thing there. The Thompson was so high. It was probably only 5 feet below the road accessing my claim. And again, when I stopped there, there was nothing that was accessible for panning. The water was so far up into the greenery around the edge of the river. There was nothing I could pan there. Not that I was going to. I really wanted to try the Fraser here. But, well, let's see what I can find around here. Way up in the high water. I see something. Now, because the water is so high, it's actually up into the riparian zone. That's the 10-meter zone from the high water to 10 meters back where you're not allowed to disturb any greenery. So I have to be very careful what I do here today because I don't want to start, ripping up trees, digging into roots, any of that kind of stuff. I see a little bit of shale right here, some slate, some shale that I can probably pry away and not disturb any of the greenery around it and get maybe a little bit of a pan. But I don't want to start disturbing too much of anything here because I have to respect A, the rules, and B, Mother Nature, the river. I have to be nice to my environment. So I'm gonna be very careful what I do here. But that being said, I walked all the way down here. I want to do at least one pan. Carefully. Looking very good, just bucked. Not even sand and gravel, just mud down there. I don't know if I can anything in this. Well, that's about all I can do. Little bit of that sort of exposed area. I dug into the shale. Little bit of stuff there, unclassified. There's not much material, but let's see if we can get at least one little speck of gold. Any more than that, I'd be disturbing the greenery around here, and I don't want to do that. Oh, there's another spot over there I could work if I had to. Oh, that's muddy. Get wet feet. Come on, one speck of gold. One speck of gold. Come on, Fraser, you can do it for me. And then we're gonna go up on the hill a bit and see if I can see how the water flows over the bedrock outcrop. Oh, that makes up Pickerton. I have very wet feet now. Oh my goodness, water's coming up. I was high and dry. Once I get rid of the mud and the bigger rocks, I'm left with nothing. The chances of finding anything in this pan are pretty darn remote. Come on, one speck. One speck. Not even a speck. The next claim. I'll be able to get a speck at the next claim. My Boston bar claim is a little bit away, but I'm gonna stop there and see what it looks like. Not a speck here at Pickerton. Hopefully the next claim will show me at least a speck. But let's go look at the river. Now, my real reason for coming down here wasn't to see if I could find gold. It was I want to see what the water is doing as it's flowing over that whole area that I typically work out there. Something I've seen right now is there is fairly fast water flow right past that point, which I wouldn't have even expected the water to get up to. So right behind that point might be a place to look for flood gold. High water flow going by, and then a dead area right behind it might deposit gold right there. So that's a good thing to note. I don't see any turbulence out over the main bedrock exposure, meaning that that water is very, very deep over the bedrock there. Can't really tell what it's doing underwater at that point. Even the big rocks that stick up around the corner a bit, I don't see any disturbance going on there. So water is flowing way over top, meaning it doesn't really tell me too much about what's going on underneath. But seeing that this fast water is coming right through here, and a lot of the bigger gold I found is basically right where that fast water is, but down 20 feet, that tells me a little bit. It's nice to see this at high water, but I'd love it if that water went down so I could actually start working this place. You may have noticed I haven't actually been producing too many gold panning videos lately, and that's because, you know, I can't get to my favorite spots. Right now, most of my favorite spots are underwater, and that's why I've done a lot more sort of rock hounding and smelting, those other things lately, because, you know, right now I just can't get to my spots to do the gold panning. Give it 3 weeks and we'll start to be able to get out here again. That being said, I am actually on a road trip. That's why I was able to stop by here. I'm on a road trip for the next few days, going out to see Polly, spend some time with Polly. So you might see a video with me and Polly in rivers that we can access really soon. Let's go check out my next claim. I just went to salvage one of my trail cams I left up on this claim to sort of watch for intruders and also watch the water. I didn't put it high enough. It's been washed away. Oh well. That's one of the reasons why I buy cheap trail cams. Anyhow, I'll get another one out here before long. Don't have to worry about claim jumpers right now. What are they gonna do? Anyhow, see you at the next claim. So I'm here at my Boston bar claim now, and go figure, the water's the same. Same river. Way up high. No access to any gravel bars or anything. This is just crazy how high it is. But I see a little bit of gravel here, basically on the road. I'm gonna do my darndest to find one speck of gold. One speck of gold. Can't get skunked by the Fraser. That would be wrong. So I did a second pan just for fun from right there, and it had about twice as much gold as the first. Woohoo! So again, I'm here actually checking out the water moving over the gravel bars to see if it gives me any clues of why and where the gold would be. And something I notice here is there's actually a transition right there between fast and slow water going by at that height right there. And strangely enough, that is the height of the gravel bar, you know, down 20 feet, whatever, where I find the best gold is right where that quick path is going through. And it transitions from quick water out there to slower water in here, which is probably it carrying a bit gold easier, and then the gold hitting that slower water, falling out, and that's why it's falling out in that line. That's a good thing to know. That's one of the reasons why I try to check out these claims at high water, so I can get an idea of what the water's doing when it's actually moving the gold and depositing the gold. You can see that fast water right there again at that height. Ew, wet feet. So there's my claim there, from right about there all the way down sort of to the corner. But you can almost see, it's a long ways off I know, but you can see that little fast water bit I was talking about right in front of the claim there. It sort of kicks out from that first set of trees and has a little bit of turbulence there. That's probably what's dropping the gold in that line.